my YouTube, my new YouTube, when I start my as a stocky, all those things I don't see that I can get and all of that.
Oh, where she's around.
Thank you. Did you tell me I'm going to pick it when they come, when the birds come?
You can take it as well.
You pay for it? Yes, no. You pay for it. Okay. There's no need to be in any cold. It was on the shelf now. There's no need to be in any cold place at all. Very well waterproof. Mommy knows now how we have layer farm, so.
Okay.
So the antibiotics, devil spoon of how many?
Okay.
Wow. That's so fine.
But then an agreement. What are you talking about? Keep into something.
People will buy happy.
Before I delve into the caption that brought you guys here, which is how I spent, you can use 2 million naira to start up a small turkey farm. Welcome to another episode of Vibing with the Fitness Farmer. A lot of people are looking for what to do. A lot of people are looking for what to invest in. A lot of people are looking to start up agriculture, but they don't know how to start it and how to go about it. That's my page. My name is Ominye, but I prefer to be called a fitness farmer. I'm a digital creator in Nigeria based in Port Harcourt, and I'm also a farmer. I'm also a consultant for agricultural brands in Nigeria. Please do well to like my videos, subscribe to this channel. By doing that, it encourages me to share more. Let's get down to business. When it comes to agriculture, you have to first think of land. Land. And now I know the caption says 2 million naira can start up a turkey farm. Of course, 2 million naira might not be able to get a land depending on your location in Nigeria. So this is for people that already have small spaces at their backyard or a small land that you have that is actually lying fallow and you don't know what to do with it. You can start up your turkey farm from there. I'm a layers farmer. As most of you know, I have thousands of birds. I have layers, and this is my first time of delving into turkey. One thing with agriculture is starting small. I have never reared turkeys for one day. I've never gotten chicks as turkeys, and I knew that for me to start, I have to start small because I was seeing the farm as my pilot project. I call it a pilot project. Normally, before I start up any farm, I don't know how other farmers do, but before I grew to, thousands of birds on my layer farm, I started with 500 birds then, which was even a lot. I started with 500 birds like 7 years ago for my layers farm. And right now we have thousands of birds. I used the same prototype for my turkey farm, which I said, okay, I need to start off this project. This idea came to me last year. A full turkey in Nigeria, in Port Harcourt precisely, goes for between 50 to 60,000 naira market value. So last year, I said 40,000 naira, and I was like, wow. And I went through markets, I went to different markets, and it was about the same price, between 35 to 40,000 as that last year. That was the last price for turkey. And I said, as an Igbo girl, I was like, it be like, say, I don't go do this business. Waiting day this business. First I go enter this business. But I was scared because I've never done it before. I had a small land I could use that was different from my layer farm. I had to erect a makeshift structure. So that last year in November, I just built a small structure for the turkey farm because I called it a pilot program. Normally I run pilot programs are programs or a business you would run on the small scale to see how well you do before you want to expand. So I had another land somewhere that I wanted to build into a big turkey farm. I was carried away. I was like, okay, I'm going to develop that land and build, a big structure to house, like, say 3,000 turkeys. But the farmer in me, because I have a background in agriculture, I'm already a farmer. I know, say, this agriculture business, farming is somehow. You have to, get into it slowly, start small, and then you will now find the rhythm of the game. It's not all about where you learned from or how much knowledge that you gained. Nothing prepared me for the experience I had when I started farming. You learn on the job. Eyes will see. Your teachers or actually whoever you learned under would not tell you. Please don't get me wrong. It's good to learn. It's good to, go to people that are consultants, like me, of course. It's good to meet us, if they are running classes, pay for the classes. Because you cannot take away experience from me or from farmers who have gone through it. You cannot take that away. Because whatever we are going to teach you is based on the experience. So down to this same gist, I said, okay, let me start small. Because this is what I tell my clients. Please, sir, please, ma, please start small. I know you want to do a 10,000 bed capacity farm. I know you want to have a 20,000 bed capacity farm. I know you have the money. But please, I know you have length, you have the structure, you have the managers, you have everything. But please start small. Because it's going to, introduce you into farming gently. I called the other site my permanent site. But I said, okay, let me just make this a makeshift site. And I decided to build a small structure for the turkey farm. Now, how would I start? What do you do before you start a turkey farm? You do your feasibility study, number 1. Yes, I did my feasibility study, which means I went to research on it, went to search on it, knowing if you have the market for it, if you can push the market on your pages. Like, let's say you have a social media page, let's say you have buyers, you have off-takers, where people buy from you, your location, how much turkey is sold around your area. These are feasibility studies. The land you have, they get the space, the kind of structure you want to build, how many turkeys can be in there that do not congest them. These are so much more. There's so much that we conduct during feasibility studies, but this is just a few. Then after that, you now calculate your capital. Remember, we're starting small, so you have to check the money you have with you. Can you afford to start a farm? Because many people, no matter how small, many people start, a process, jump into a business, and along the line, they just, they give up, either because of the weight of the business, because of the money constraints, because they did not know how much it will cost them to start up that project and finish the project. They jumped in impulsively. So you have to take a step back and calculate that. And that's what I did. At first, I wanted to start with 500. I said, no, let me start with 300. I said, no, I brought it down to 200. I brought it down to 100. Yes. So you start small. How much a cattle of turkey goes for, and how much is their feed, and how much will it take to feed them till maturity before you sell. The kind of turkeys that I bought the foreign one to rear them for 6 months before I put them up for sale. So you have to think, do you have the money to train, to actually rear your turkeys for 6 months? Do you have the financial capability to rear 100 turkeys, even if it's a pilot program, a pilot farm, for 6 months? If you don't have that, my brother, my sister, you reduce your capital. You can even start with 10 turkeys. You don't mind. You can even start with 15 turkeys, because it's going to teach you and you're going to experience. If you know how much it costs you to feed 15 turkeys, of course, after that 6 months, you will know how much it will cost you to feed 30, 40, 50, because Nigeria is a country of surprises. Nigeria will test you. The economy will test you. The rate of inflation will test you. This is not textbook knowledge here. We're not doing textbook knowledge. We're doing practical. I'm saying this from the practical angle of who and what I have seen as a farmer in the poultry sector and gradually entering into turkeys. So I said, let me bring it down to 100 turkeys. 100, I still brought it down to 50. Yes, because I was scared that I'm like a month into the game. I'm like, okay, I would have done 100. Why was I scared? Because the small makeshift structure that I constructed can house 100 turkeys comfortably. But because I was scared, I said, let me just do 50. Let's play with 50 in December. So I just fill up 50. Then in January, I would know that if everything goes well, then we'll start building in the permanent sites for turkey farming. So I got the turkeys at 3 weeks. I won't lie to you guys here and say, oh, I got them as chicks. I am still skeptical. I got them at 3 weeks. As a layer farmer operating battery cages, I buy my birds at point of lay. I've never ever said that I buy my birds as chicks and rear them to maturity before they start laying eggs. No, 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 no. I buy them at point of lay, which is at 14 weeks or 16 weeks. And when they start laying and they come in, and after a month they start laying eggs, I start selling. I put them straight into the battery cages from 14 weeks. So for this turkey too, that comes in cartons as chicks, because I have never reared broilers before, I'm a layer farmer, I buy point of lay, and my birds are solely for eggs. I say, how I will start this thing? I'm normally scared of chicks, you know, how small they are, they die, but knowing what I know now, after passing through this turkey farming, and I also added little broilers, I will definitely go into that much later. I can say that right now, give me a turkey of half day old, we go run them. Yes, I can rear them, but at that time, I was skeptical. So I wanted them to be a bit bigger, just small. I didn't want them to come as 1 day old, fragile. I said, okay. So you can buy turkeys at 2 weeks old, you can buy turkeys at 1 week old, you can buy turkeys at 3 weeks old, to start your journey from there. You can also buy turkeys at 1 day old if you want to start from when they are 1 day. I'm talking about how I started mine. So I got them at 3 weeks old, and I got them as at this year, in July, I got them for 13,000 naira per bird. So one turkey at 3 weeks old cost me 13,000 naira. So if you want to calculate how much turkeys you would get, you just times 13 times whatever number you would get them for. And then I had to, and then you have to now go into their feed, turkey feeds. It depends on the brand you want to buy. You can actually buy broiler. Turkey actually eats broiler feed, starter feeds before finisher. And they also had turkey feeds. I was shocked to see turkey feeds, because when I was doing my feasibility studies and I met some turkey farmers, they use broiler starters. Broiler farmers will understand what I'm talking about, to feed their turkeys and they grow well. But later on, I now got to see turkey feeds. I got New Hope was going for 24,000 naira per bag. So I got that. I just put a video where you will see me getting stuffs for the turkey, feeding troughs. I got to know where they will eat, their plates, their water drinkers. All these things are the necessary things you should get if you're going into turkey farming. If you have already built your building and you're ready to start. Drinkers cost me around 4,000 or 5, I can't remember. Feeders cost me around 5,000, I can't remember, I think so. So I got about 3 feeders, 3 drinkers. I also got some multivitamins for them, and that was it. I think you can roughly use 2 million naira to start up a small turkey farm. Remember, please, I want to also put it out here. 2 million naira will not start up and finish your turkey cycle. That is, even if you put as low as 30 birds, putting the birds from day 1 to when they now mature to maturity 6 months later, and then, selling them off. So please, before I'll be misquoted, 2 million naira would help you start your business. You will not finish that cycle. Remember, we talked about land. So if you have land, you have to have a building. And when you have the building, let's say 1 million has gone. We're talking about both materials, construction, depending on your size though, but my size can take like 100 turkeys and let's say 50 broilers. So let's say you're spending 1 million naira. Then the feeding, I've already told you how much I got a bag of feed for 22,000 naira, one bag. They have different brands, so one of 25, one of 27, depending on what you want to start with. And this is just what I used to start, and I feed them, and I buy these bags almost every 2 weeks, because the more they grow, the more they eat. So that one, I did not include it in. And of course, by the end of the cycle, see, the beauty of this channel is I'll carry you along. I'll carry you on my expenses. experiences, both the bad, both the good, the bad, and the ugly. If you're on this channel, trust me, you can start up your farm by just watching me. You can start up your farm by, learning from my experience in poultry farming and in farming and business consultations. You can learn a lot. So I cannot give so much information on, the period of this cycle because I'm in it. I'm just like almost a month plus rearing these turkeys. So it's as we go, I'll be updating you. Another thing I learned is make sure that you give your turkeys vaccination. I'll be vaccinating them in 2 days when they are 5 weeks old. Fowl pox vaccination. Common illness that attacks turkeys is fowl pox. So make sure that you vaccinate them against fowl pox. Next 2 days, I'll be vaccinating them. If I can cover that video, I will actually cover the video. I'll put it up here on my channel. I will show you. I will tell you guys how much I vaccinated them. So you count along with me. Then at the end of the cycle, I will tell you, okay, this is what I used to feed 30 turkeys for 6 months. Right now, I cannot estimate the whole amount. 1 million naira or 2 million naira to feed turkeys. I can't estimate it now because I'm like carrying people along on my experiences. I can do that for my laying beds. If you wake me up in the night asleep, I can estimate anything about birds. But for turkeys, I'm so excited because this is the first time I'll be growing turkeys. This is the first time I'm seeing them grow. I'm seeing them eat, I'm seeing them, it's like they are your kids. This beauty that comes with farming, with agriculture, knowing that you actually did this. Like, it is like you're giving life to animals. Watching them grow does something to you. Watching them grow makes you happy. I don't know about others, but for me, that's what I'm doing now. So right now, I'm not really looking at the monetary angle because of course I know that, 50 turkeys won't give me, the kind of money that I'm looking for, but I'm just doing it because it is a pilot project. I want to see how much these 50 turkeys will cost me along the line. I want to see the input. I want to see, I'll also add in, please don't forget your worker salary. So if you have between 30 to 50 turkeys as you're starting up, you can employ one person. If you want to do it alone, fine. You can actually do it alone. But for me, I employed one person because remember I have a layers farm somewhere with thousands of chickens laying eggs. So I had to employ, and of course, it's in 2 different locations. The laying farm is in another place in Port Harcourt. And the small pilot turkey farm is in another place in Port Harcourt. So of course, I have to have, workers for the boats. So I actually employed one worker, and it depends on where you stay yourself. So that is it about the turkey farming. I'm just trying to think of anything I've left out in this. I'm just thinking. So yes, I don't want to name them because I don't want to be attached to them. I wanted to name them, but I don't want to name them because I don't want to be attached to them. I'm excited, and if this goes well, this will go well. I'll be proud to come here. I'll still carry you along weekly. I'll show you the turkeys. I'll show you what if they're sick, I'll let you guys know how much I spent and everything. I'll carry you along. So please, if you're on this channel, please send my video to someone else that might need this information on how to start a turkey farm. You can use 2 million naira to start up a turkey farm, building and the beds and buying the initial feeders and drinkers. I'm not talking about finishing the cycle, but 2 million naira can start up a small turkey farm for someone that already has a land. So please, I have to go now. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel. This subscribing, it really encourages me to sit down and listen to. It's not easy to give people your time. I know what it means to give somebody your time. I'm a business person, I'm a digital creator, I'm an entrepreneur. So I know that my time is money and I like to divide my time. So when I see somebody like my video, I'm like, wow, I'm still wowed. I mean, I'm still very appreciative as a small YouTuber. Even when I'm a big YouTuber, I will keep on thanking you guys. Imagine me waking up this morning and I just saw 75 subscribers. 75 people found me worthy to subscribe. And I know that as we go along as a small YouTuber, I will have more. So thank you so much for following this channel. Please click and subscribe to my videos. And by doing that, it encourages me to share more.